I always said I would never do homeschool. And I also said I would never do videos about homeschool. But what I have to say is compelling me to do this video. Hey guys, it's Kate, and I am a homeschool mama making a homeschool video. Never would have thought I would be here, but here I am, and I'll tell you the reason for it. My son asked if we could do it. The pandemic changed everything for our family. I'll do a video on that someday soon. But the reason that I'm making this video is because we found ourselves in math purgatory. The curriculum that I had selected that I thought he would be really into because it was filled with stories and real life examples ended up flopping for him, and math became a painful part of our day. So I began looking for other options and was looking at reviews and seeing what other mamas had to say. And one of the best pieces of advice that I received in this homeschool journey that began about 1.5 years ago was to hold everything with an open hand and to be willing to watch your child and see what works best for them and make adjustments as necessary. And so that's exactly what I did, because he was not engaged, he was not learning, he was not remembering the curriculum that I had selected. The same way that maybe some of you have found this video by watching reviews and hearing what other mamas had to say was ending up not being a good fit for us. I thought the stories and the real life examples would really keep him engaged and interested, but it felt sort of disjointed and all over the place. And so I began looking for other options. We did add at that point, halfway through the year, Life of Fred, which we will continue to use in terms of just fun and storytelling and making real life math part of his curriculum. He asks to read it sometimes on the weekends. We just use it more for story time and introducing concepts. But I was looking for something that would really help build the foundations and the fundamentals that he needed for math. Now, I want to add a disclaimer. There are so many amazing mamas that are out there doing curriculum reviews, that know what they're talking about, that have been doing this for years, that have multiple kids. I am brand new. This is only my 2nd year, but though I don't know everything about homeschooling, and I certainly don't know everything about math, I know my kid. And the reason that I felt so compelled to make this video is because we just completed the first 10 lessons, and I am dumbfounded at the progress that he is making. This curriculum has changed everything for us, and that's the reason I am making this video, because I feel like there are probably other families out there who can resonate with our situation. A young kiddo, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, who really struggles to want to sit and focus. And math, you see, for him is something that he really enjoys getting his hands on. He plays with the blocks even when we aren't doing math. We have been doing math almost every day during his summer vacation without complaint. And that is huge for us. We just finished his Unit 1 test covering lessons 1 through 10, and he got every single answer correct. There is no way that had you told me prior to picking up this curriculum that he would be able to do that and not just ace a test, but if you had shown me the word problems and solving for the unknown and adding +8 and +9, we were struggling with +1 and +2. And +0. He was not grasping it, the blocks, and seeing it, visualizing it, being able to build it, and then get his hands involved to write it, and then hearing it kind of solidified as he says it out loud has changed everything for us. The instruction manual has a suggested 4-step Math UC approach, which has also been really helpful to me as the teacher. Step 1 is preparing for the lesson. There is text in here for me to read to help me grasp everything that I'm going to be presenting. And it doesn't take very long to read through. It's very well written and spelled out so that I feel confident going into the lesson. And then step 2 is to present and explore the new concept together. And we start this step by watching the video. And I cannot tell you how much we love watching these videos. I will admit they are older videos, and so I was skeptical at first, but I love the teacher. Liam loves the teacher, and it is really helpful to me to be able to have the concept presented in a way that I'm not capable of, because I don't have a math degree and my background isn't in math, and I'm not very confident in math myself. So these videos are engaging, and then it builds that foundational layer for the new concept that we're learning, which all build on each other in a beautiful way. And then throughout the practice that we do in step 3, practice for mastery, we continue referring back to what was presented to us in that video. So the workbook is really well laid out, the student workbook. There are multiple pages for each lesson, and you'll see usually 3 worksheets of practice on the concept that has been introduced, and then it goes into 2 pages often of systematic review, so everything that you have learned up to that point to make sure that everything is staying put. And then there is also something fun usually at the end of that lesson in the workbook. The last page is application and enrichment, just a different way to look at what you have been learning. So what I also really appreciate that has been explained well in the instruction manual is to go at your child's pace. There have been certain lessons where we have needed to do every single worksheet, and there have been certain lessons, you'll see a bunch of these here in the beginning, that we didn't do, and the worksheets are still in there because he got the concept more quickly and we were able to move on. So it really encourages you to follow your students' pace, which is a beautiful thing in homeschool. That's the whole point and the whole purpose, right? Is to be able to not rush through and not just check boxes, to really make sure you're checking for learning and for understanding before moving on. And they set that up in such a beautiful way. Another thing that I really love in step 3, practice for mastery, is this concept that you hear over and over again from Math UC, which is build, write, say. It's even written in the instructions on the worksheets. So your child is having the opportunity to have multiple senses involved as they build the problem, as they write the problem, and as they say the problem. So after step 3 comes step 4, which is progress after mastery. And this is the part in the worksheet where you're doing that systematic review to make sure that your child is continuing to progress with the things that they have learned. And you can do the application and enrichment pages. And then there is a test. The test booklet is that 3rd booklet. It's a little bit thinner. Each lesson has its own test, usually 2 pages. And then we just finished his unit 1 test, which covered lessons 1 through 10.
So the 10 takes 2 away from 7, which is either, and then, which is 1 to 5 or 15.
I will pass on the same advice that I received somewhere in all of my many YouTube videos that I watched. Hold your curriculum loosely. Hold the things that you commit to loosely. Do your research and follow the lead of your child. If you need to pivot and make a change, don't be afraid to do that. I also think it's important to not switch over and over and over again, because that's counterproductive for everyone. But I just knew when we started this that this was the right fit for us more than the other ones. And I feel like I'm starting my 2nd full year as a homeschool mama with just total confidence. And I wanted to offer that to somebody else out there who might be struggling with finding exceptional math curriculum. I'm also gonna do a video about spelling UC, because when I started to fall in love with this, I circled back and went and snagged their spelling curriculum because we were also struggling with spelling and reading. And I can't wait to tell you what's been happening with that. This curriculum is making me want to do videos because that's how good it is. So we'll see you next time.